Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to this week's recap of the news as has been covered by this channel. So a regular fixture now, something that comes out every Sunday as your Sunday listening. Apologies that this video is coming out a lot later than it does usually every Sunday, but nevertheless, what a week it has been in the news. A mixed bag of video session we have had this week, and straight into it we go with the first video, and we are going of course to the Lekki toll gate. We still have lingering news coming out of that particular incident. This is something that will run and run until we reach a resolution on that matter. So in this video that I am about to bring you, the Buhari government is lashing out at CNN. That's right, CNN, that American international conglomerate, threatening them with sanctions. And who is at the forefront of this? It is of course Lai Mohammed. All of that is detailed in this first video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, if you take a monkey from the trees and put it in a lion's den, that monkey does not suddenly become a lion. It remains a monkey, because of course monkey is as monkey does. So that monkey-like behavior that we are used to now from the Nigerian setting has now been taken to the international stage. As guys, I bring you this: Nigeria threatens CNN with sanctions but provide no evidence. Lekki toll gate investigation is inaccurate. So Lai Mohammed, of course, is the person we're speaking to now, is the go-to person in this sort of situations, and he has come out now in the public space to say that the CNN expose, I'm sure a lot of you would have seen it, but if you have not seen it, CNN did a documentary showing the trajectory, the run through, the timestamps of what happened at Lekki toll gate, to the point of actually showing soldiers shooting at the crowd. So they exposed the whole thing, and of course now that has now put paid to the lies and spins that the Buhari regime are trying to give this thing. And Lai Mohammed, of course, has now come out in the public space demanding sanctions against CNN. Sanctions against CNN is what this guy is asking. Some hobnob from a third world country asking that CNN be sanctioned. So who exactly is going to sanction CNN is what I am asking. Is this guy now going to send Yusuf Bichi after CNN like they did with Showore, or like they do with the average Nigerian journalist, kicking them in the head all the way to a prison cell? Perhaps he's going to kick CNN in the head all the way to a prison cell. Again, the headline: Nigeria threatens CNN with sanctions but provides no evidence. Lekki toll gate investigation is inaccurate. So now let's now see how this is detailed. A senior Nigerian minister lashed out against CNN Thursday, saying the network should be sanctioned over its investigation, which uncovered evidence that the Nigerian army and police opened fire on unarmed protesters on October the 20th. CNN's investigation focused on a demonstration against police brutality led by the largely peaceful #EndSARS movement. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed Thursday dismissed CNN's investigation as fake news and misinformation, repeatedly denying the military used live rounds against protesters. Like everyone else, I watched the CNN report. I must tell you that it reinforces the disinformation that is going around, and it is blatantly irresponsible and a poor piece of journalistic work by a reputable international news organization, he told reporters at a press conference in Abuja, in the most significant federal government response so far to the October 20th violence. This is very serious, and CNN should be sanctioned for that, he said. CNN stands by its investigation, a company spokesperson said. Our reporting was carefully and meticulously researched, and we stand by it, the spokesperson said via email. The report was based on testimonies from dozens of witnesses and photos and videos obtained and geolocated by CNN. It painted a picture of how members of the Nigerian army and the police shot at the crowd, killing at least one person and wounding dozens more. CNN verified photos and videos acquired from multiple eyewitnesses and protesters using timestamps and other data from the video file. Video footage shows soldiers who appear to be shooting in the direction of protesters, and accounts from eyewitnesses established that after the army withdrew, a second round of shooting happened later in the evening. Prior to publishing the report, CNN tried multiple times to elicit comment from the Nigerian Army and police. A Lagos State Police spokesperson declined to comment because of an ongoing investigation, whilst a statement from the Lagos State government said that there would be no comment whilst a judicial tribunal was underway. CNN also included comments from Army representatives Brigadier Ahmed Taiwo testifying before in the tribunal. He denied that soldiers would shoot at Nigerian citizens. The investigation was broadcast and published on Wednesday and cast doubt on Nigerian authorities' shifting and changing statements over what happened at the protest at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos. Addressing reporters, Mohammed insisted that the military did not shoot at the protesters at the toll gate, but fired blank ammunition into the air, blaming looters for the violence which broke out on the night of October the 20th. 6 soldiers and 37 policemen were killed all over the country during the crisis, Mohammed said. CNN relied heavily on unreliable and possibly doctored videos, as well as information sourced from questionable sources, to reach these conclusions, he continued. He did not provide any evidence the videos were doctored. The CNN report included evidence that bullet castings from the scene matched those used by the Nigerian Army when shooting live rounds, according to current and former military officials. 2 ballistic experts also confirmed with CNN that the shape of the bullet castings indicate they used live rounds, which contradicts the Army's claim that they fired blanks. Whilst the Minister for Information and Culture asserted that not a single family has reported the death of relatives during the protest on October the 20th, the Chief Coroner of Lagos State has since issued a public call for all those who have lost loved ones between the 19th and the 20th of October to come forward and provide evidence which could assist in the identification exercise. During his press briefing on Thursday, the minister denied reports of fatalities at the protest. As I said earlier, what started as a peaceful protest against police brutality quickly degenerated into incredible violence despite an immediate response to their demands by the government, he said. Whilst we await the judicial panel in Lagos to unravel what transpired at the Lekki toll gate, what we can say, based on testimonies available in the public space, is that the world may have just witnessed, for the very first time ever, a massacre without bodies. According to Mohammed, the National Economic Council (NEC) directed the immediate establishment of a state-based judicial panel of inquiry on October the 15th before the Lekki tollgate incident, but after protests against violence began, to investigate complaints of police brutality and extrajudicial killings. Eyewitnesses have since told CNN that the government's comments are lies, making them feel as though they had hallucinated the whole event. Haven't they hurt us enough? I still close my eyes and see the blood and hear the screams, another eyewitness said. During the press conference, Mohammed said the federal government continues to be very satisfied with the role played by security agencies, especially the military and the police, throughout the protest. So now this is now I mean, it's utterly ridiculous, of course, but then as I said, monkey do as monkey does. So this is a monkey-like behavior. This guy now is threatening CNN that can have him arrested from his seat as it stands, because of course the weight of CNN reverberates all the way to the Oval Office within the United States system, and this is a global institution, and these people, and it's a big mistake, by the way. You know that this guy is just used to coming on the media space and bullying people. They'll pick up journalists and lock them up and gun them down and disappear them, etc. So this is the system that they are used to, but he feels as though that system also translates and transmutes into the international scene. So this just shows the lack of sophistry of the entire structure of the Nigerian system. This guy preening and peacocking with his tribal marks and his silly glasses, he thinks he can sit in Abuja and threaten the CNN. So now this threat now that he has made against the CNN, and particularly calling them fake news and calling for sanctions, will well prove to be a mistake in the medium to long term, because these people now will then set out a budget to thoroughly investigate these people, and you can then now expect a series of expose about the Nigerian government with particular focus on the Lekki toll gates. So this is not something that the CNN would let go, but then of course we all know the playbook of the Nigerian government. So the first thing is they will go and tell them that they are going to first deport one or two correspondents from CNN from Nigeria, and then they will then go and seal off their office with their Janjaweed militia type police army whatever, and then begin to write to the American embassy that CNN is telling the truth via way of fake news according to them. So this is the ludicrousness of the playbook of the Nigerian system, especially this clueless regime that we have in place at the moment. But CNN will be the last establishment that will be bullied by these people. So get lost is the response of CNN to Lai Mohammed and his paymasters, and I for one applaud that. What says you? Come share thoughts. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come tell me then what you're making of this false posturing, this little man Lai Mohammed posturing and puffing his chest out against the juggernaut that is the CNN. So how does this play out then? What is your reading? Come share all that with me in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So next we're going to the good news. In fact, is what this next video brings you. Good news for the Yoruba people, for Nigeria and the black race in its entirety. The Ooni of Ife has given birth to a baby boy, and thus ensuring that the hegemony of that Ooni stool continues for yet another generation. All of that is detailed in this next video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, this is news that the entirety of the Yoruba race has been waiting for. And yes, I said Yoruba race. I know some people have an objection to be describing the Yorubas as a race as opposed to a people, but that is the definition that echoes in my head, and that is how I see the Yoruba as a race. So great news, as guys I bring you this. Ooni of Ife, Olori Moronke, welcome baby boy. So this is the news, as I said, that a lot of people have been anticipating, the Yorubas especially, but the wider Nigerian community and even the broader black race. So great news for this couple, as again, Ooni of Ife, Olori Moronke, welcome baby boy. So now let's now all share in the good news. The Ooni of Ile-Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi, and his wife, Olori Moronke Naomi Shilekunla, have welcomed a baby boy. In a tweet on his handle, the excited king equally said both mother and son are doing well. To God be the glory, great things he has done. Hearty congratulations to the entire house of Oduduwa and Olori Shilekunla, who today birthed a prince to the royal throne of Oduduwa. The revered monarch tweeted on Wednesday. Mother and child are doing well to the glory of God Almighty. So this is absolutely great news, as I said, because of course there's been a lot of anticipation for this couple, because a lot of people actually care for them, and they are the more popular set of public faces within the Nigerian space. I'm sure they have a lot of detractors, but they have more admirers and fans than detractors. So people have been waiting, as I said, and people have been waiting for a moment. I won't say they've been waiting for a long while, but they have been waiting for a moment. So we go back to that moment when that wait started to chart the trajectory of the birth of this boy. So the prince has arrived, but how did he come about? So we go to the origin. As guys, I bring you a new headline. Ooni of Ife reveals new wife Naomi Oluwaseyi. So this was when the journey started, as I said, as far back as October 2018. That was only 2 years ago, by the way. Ooni of Ife reveals new wife Naomi Oluwaseyi. So now let's just go down memory lane to arrive at this port. The Ooni of Ife, Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has revealed his new wife. She is called Naomi Oluwaseyi. The monarch, who is quite active on social media, made the surprise announcement on Instagram on Thursday night. I waited patiently upon the Almighty King of Kings. He eventually did it in the midst of many trials, the 43-year-old monarch wrote. Shilekunla Moronke Naomi, the greatest arsenal you can apply on this highly revered throne, with many rules and regulations in the midst of undiluted tradition, heritage, and culture, is the fear of God in you, which is the beginning of your wisdom on this throne of Oduduwa. You are welcome home, my beautiful and adorable queen. The development comes 14 months after his ex-wife, Zainad Otiti Abano, confirmed that her 17-month-old marriage to the monarch had indeed ended. She made the disclosure via an official statement on her official Instagram page on August the 30th, 2017. The Ooni got married to his now estranged Edo bride at an elaborate traditional marriage held in Benin, the Edo state capital, on March 16, 2016. The wedding rites were performed in the traditional Benin culture at the residence of the bride on Iwere Street, Etete, in Orode local government area of the state. Although the monarch was not physically present, his father, Oluropo Ogunwusi, represented him. So the journey of the Ooni to arrive at now this prince, a colorful journey. He's been through quite a few women actually, because the this is not the Ooni's first child, by the way. We have to go back and recount this guy's history now up to this point. So he had a child from a previous relationship which predated his marriage to the Wuraola Obono from Edo State. So he had a child from a previous relationship. I think he had that child actually when he was in his late teens, early 20s. So he had that child, a daughter. So Princess Adeola Ogunwusi, that is the name of his child. And I think she's actually graduated university even. So Princess Adeola Ogunwusi is the name of his first child, but by all accounts, this is his first son, and of course, the first now child of the Yoruba race. So a colorful life this guy has lived, obviously, having a child in his late teens, early 20s, and then going about as building an empire as a business mogul, to the point that he then landed on the most revered throne of the Yoruba race. He's had a colorful past with women as well, as we have just discussed. So having children at a very early age, getting married to this lady from Edo, marrying her for 17 months, and then it led to a divorce, a parting of ways. So they parted ways. And by the way, I don't know what would happen to that lady Wuraola, because of course she was married to an Ooni, and an Ooni, by the way, is almost like a deity within the Yoruba structure. So it's almost like an Abamieda. So if you marry an Ooni and then you leave the palace to carry on as a single woman, what sort of a relationship would you have? I cannot imagine that this woman would have a relationship with a Yoruba person anymore. Which Yoruba person, which Yoruba man is brave enough to take on the ex-wife of the Ooni? So the entirety of the Yoruba race is discounted to this lady, and I suspect the entirety of the Delta Edos are discounted as well. She's probably best off marrying like a foreigner, like an Arab or an European or something, but that is her journey. But now, this journey now that the Ooni is now currently on with Princess Naomi has now led to the birthing of this child, which is celebrated right across the length and breadth of Yoruba land. And when I say the length and breadth of Yoruba land, by the way, please do not make the mistake of restricting that to the Nigerian borders, because the Yoruba community in places like Brazil and the entirety of South America, they make an equal claim to that lineage of the Ooni as a Yoruba man from Ooni of Ife's frontier himself. So the expanse of the Yoruba race is the entire scope of the globe, really, and this celebration now of this new birth will reverberate right across the four corners of the world to say now that the Yoruba hegemony continues for yet another generation, and it will never wane and it will never die. Congratulations to the couple, and conversations in the comment section. It's a celebratory one. This, the news that the entirety of the Yoruba race has been waiting for, has finally been announced by our lead and paramount king, the Ooni of Ife. A lot of people will tell you that the Ooni of Ife is actually a spiritual leader and not a king, but that is a conversation for another video. This is a celebratory one, so come share joyous words about the Ooni and his wife. I especially like the wife anyway, and it's a whole journey to that lady becoming a queen as well. So I might well make a video on that as well, because it was almost predestined. That lady, of course, she's not of a weak fiber as well. She's a robust lady. I mean, if you know this story, I will do a video on that lady, Princess Naomi, just so you know the quality of this person that is able then to stand astride with the person that stands up front of the Yoruba race. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section, but before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me in the comment section. Come tell me what you're making of this great news that the Yoruba race are celebrating. So I will leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So next we're going back to politics, and we're going to Kwara State. If we go to Kwara State, of course, we have to visit Saraki. Saraki is now in a long-running battle now. He has been in several battles with the current incumbent, but the present battle now is around the pension plans that are in place for ex-governors. So the current governor, the incumbent governor of Kwara State, is threatening to, by fiat, cancel the pension provision that is in place for ex-governors. So Saraki now has his opinion about this move that this now new guy is threatening to make, and all of that is detailed in this next video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the greed of some people will never fail to astound me. Having looted Kwara State for 8 solid years and then progressed to the Senate, where he became president of the chambers and then continued the looting, is not still satiated. As guys, I bring you this. Saraki's aide slams Governor Abdulrazak over plans to revoke ex-governor pension law in Kwara State, asks Governor Abdulrazak to stop copying Lagos policies word for word. So yes, Saraki, of course, we're talking about. This is the guy that he and his father completely looted the bank, Societe Generale, to the ground and just bankrupted like pretty much all of the customers of that bank, going back to the 80s now. So these people have been at it for long enough, but he still feels that he's not yet fully satisfied and that Nigeria still owes him. And I'm pretty certain, of course, that he's collecting a pension from the Senate as well. He's still collecting some gratuities from the Senate, but he wants that topped up with his pension from Kwara State on top of all of the looting that he has done. As again, Saraki's aide slams Governor Abdulrazak over plans to revoke ex-governor's pension law in Kwara, asks Governor Abdulrazak to stop copying Lagos policies word for word. So now let's not get into the details of it. Abdul Ganiu Abdul Kadir, the press officer local matters to the former governor of Kwara State, Dr. Bukola Saraki, has slammed Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State over his plans to revoke the law that guarantees life pension for ex-governors. The state governor had on Friday, November the 13th, 2020, announced his readiness to send an executive bill to the House of Assembly to repeal the pension law. In a statement by Rafiu Ajakaye, the chief press secretary to the governor, Abdulrazak said he would send the bill to the state assembly next week. The governor said this days after Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu promised to repeal a similar law in Lagos State. Reacting to the statement, Saraki's aide asked Governor Abdulrazak to check records before copying policies from Lagos State word for word. He said the law had been revoked since 2018, adding that Saraki had stopped receiving pensions since then. Abdul Kadir said it is worrisome how politics is clouding the judgment of the present administration under Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak and making it become desperate to score cheap political points, not minding the embarrassment it is causing to the good people of the state. It will be recalled that in February 2018, the Kwara State House of Assembly revised the law and abolished payment of pension, a move that was publicly hailed by the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki. Since the review of the law in 2018, Saraki has stopped receiving any pension from the state government. These are verifiable facts that are in the possession of the Kwara State government. If there is any contrary information to this, we urge the incumbent governor to inform the public. It is now worrisome and an embarrassment to all Kwarans that a law that has been since repealed in the state is the same law Governor Abdulrahman is claiming he intended to abolish. Must this administration copy everything from Lagos State word for word? The Abdulrazaks and the Sarakis have remained the two main families controlling Kwara politics since the 70s, when the patriarchs of the families, the late Alhaji Abdulrazak Folorun Shaw and the late Olushola Saraki, established themselves as political giants in the state. So there you have it now. The obviously you've heard what's been said. So the first move was from the state governor, saying that he wanted to abolish this pension law, which is just like collecting rent from the state effectively, or this rent seeking that is going on all over the states in Nigeria. So this was his opening salvo, and yes, the critic, whoever the critic is, what is his name again? Saraki's boy, what is his name again? Ganiu Abdul Kadir. So this character, he is right to say that this guy is copying this policy from Lagos State, because just last week we heard the announcement from Lagos State that they were repealing that free for all that Tinubu had established when he left office I think in 2006, 2007. So that free for all, that they were getting 6 cars every 3 years. That was part of the pension package in Lagos State. They were getting 6 cars, 6 brand new cars every 6 years. They were getting houses in Lagos and Abuja, and of course they were getting 3-4 times their salaries as a life pension for ex-governors. Fashola, of course, came out a few months ago to say that he was not collecting it, but of course Tinubu would never turn his nose up to a naira note. So he copied this wholesale from Lagos State. So that's the one element. But the second element is, why is Saraki feeling the need to speak on this? Because of course, make no mistake, this guy speaking is Saraki speaking, because he would not speak unless he's been instructed. So why is Saraki now taking this position? So there are several elements to this. The first thing that you have to consider is, when this governor says that he's repealing the pension laws in Kwara State, the immediate thought that everybody would have will be of Saraki, because he is the public face of that state, and he is the more or less Tinubu of that state, the one that is looting that state. And if you are talking of looting Kwara State, and you will immediately think, of course, of Saraki. So the Saraki element, Dr. Bukola Saraki, the former Senate president, he understood this public singing and dancing that the Kwara State governor is doing, that is repealing the pension plan, as an attack against his reputation or a move against his political influence. And he is right, of course, because I am sure the Kwara State governor was gearing this particular public pronouncement against Saraki. But as karma would have it, as quirk of faith would have it, apparently, allegedly, this same thing was revoked as far back as 2018. So as far back as 2018, according to Saraki, and he would not say this, by the way, if it was not on record that this was the case, as far back as 2018, this law now that this guy was saying that he's going to have repealed by some executive fiat had actually already been repealed as far back as 2018, to the point that Saraki is now indicating that he was not collecting any pension from 2018. But him saying that he was not collecting any pension from 2018 brings almost immediately to question another scenario. If he was indeed collecting pensions up to 2018, when this pension law was then repealed, he of course was not the governor of Kwara State then. He would not be the governor anyway and be collecting pension. But he was not the governor of Kwara State then. He was the Senate leader. He was the Senate leader pretty much from 2015. So if he was the Senate leader in 2018, collecting all the fat salaries, all the sitting allowances, all the accoutrements and the emoluments and all the commissions that he will place himself in, that is oversighting the oil industry and collecting all sorts of, all the vast sum of monies that he would have been collecting as the Senate president, he still, up to 2018, was collecting pension from Kwara State. Even if the law facilitates for him to continue to collect those pensions because he's the ex-governor, surely morality and decency would have it be the case that he would voluntarily give up that pension because of the vast fortunes that he had already made from that state, and the even bigger fortune that is now taking off the Nigerian state at the national level, at the federal level, as the Senate president. But of course, as I said, the last thing Saraki would ever do would be to turn his nose up to a naira note. This is a guy that loves the feel and texture of a naira note. Conversations in the comment section, he said, she said, the pension plans in Kwara State is in contention, but Saraki, even though the law was repealed in 2018, he still collected it up to that point, according to his own spokesperson. What says you? Come share thoughts. Saraki lost a naira note is the upshot, is the takeaway from this. What are you taking away from it? Come tell me all about it in the comment section. But before you come to the comment section to have that conversation, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come tell me then this pension package that all these governors have put in place for themselves continue to loot the Nigerian state in and out of office. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So still sticking with politics, we're going to Oyo State this time around. Politics and security we're talking about, and of course if you're talking about security in the southwestern regions of Nigeria, then you are mentioning really the word Amotekun. So the launching of Amotekun in Oyo State is now great cause for celebration, and Governor Makinde of that state has used that opportunity of that launch to code pointed message in the direction of the Fulani herdsmen. So all of that is detailed in this next video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the Igbo people have been agitating for a very long time for self-determination under the banner of IPOB led by Nnamdi Kanu. We all know that, but the Yorubas do it differently. As guys, I bring you this: never again will invaders enter Oyo without response from Amotekun, a headline attributed to the governor of the state, Makinde. So the Amotekun approach is the Yoruba approach to the goings-on within the Nigerian space, seeking to secure our borders first by first having some sort of like a paramilitary sort of organization, which is effectively what Amotekun is, and then evolving that into a fully fledged security network for the southwestern region. Again, the headline: never again will invaders enter Oyo without response from Amotekun, a headline attributed to Governor Makinde. I have requested IGP's approval for police mobile squadron in Oyo town, he adds. So now let's get into the details of it. Oyo State Governor Mr. Seyi Makinde on Wednesday declared the state security network agency Amotekun Corporation operational with a mandate to provide local response against invaders into the state. Makinde handed down this mandate at the personal ceremony of no fewer than 1,500 Amotekun Corps member at Emmanuel Alayonde College of Education in Oyo Town. Speaking, he noted that the Amotekun Corps will serve as a community police to tackle threats to peaceful coexistence within the state. As stipulated in the Oyo State Security Network Agency Law 2020 for the establishment of Amotekun Corps, the Amotekun officers are allowed to bear licensed arms in performing their duties that include to cooperate with security agencies in gathering information about crime, the arrest and prosecution of persons suspected or involved in kidnapping, rape, terrorism, cattle rustling, cultism, highway robbery, destruction of livelihood, criminal damage to property, and any other criminal activity. So this seems to be quite specific. I'm not quite sure if they are narrowing their mandates down to those specifics. It carries on. Amotekun Corps also have the power to undertake day and night patrol on land and water, disarm unauthorized persons in possession of arms and other dangerous weapons, render prompt assistance to crime and accident victims, give a report of suspicious activities, and undertake joint operations with the police and other security agencies. Makinde said, "We are coming together to fight a common enemy. That enemy is not Nigeria. The enemies are elements amongst us and their affiliates who are determined to cause commotion within our state borders and threaten our peaceful coexistence, and never again will invaders come into Oyo State without a local response from us. Amotekun is our local response. Members of the corps will be drafted to all the 31 wards of Oyo State. They will be our community police so that their presence will be felt everywhere. This ensures that offenders are quickly identified, arrested, registered, and promptly handed over to the nearest police station or post. As I said during one of my speeches following the NSAS protest, this is one outfit that I can boldly say hold me responsible for the actions of the members. In performing their duties, Makinde, however, warned the pioneer Amotekun Corps against harassment or intimidation of people, but they should exhibit the highest level of professionalism. The event also saw Makinde state that the state had placed a request to the Inspector General of Police for a police mobile squadron to be sited in Oyo State. This assurance comes after the controversy that trailed the sighting of 72 police mobile force squadrons in Ago-Are, Oke-Ogun area of the state, with notions that the Oyo town had been short-changed. Speaking on Wednesday, Makinde said, "So far, we have supported our federal security outfits who do their best to protect our people. We provide them with communication gadgets and patrol vehicles, and we have also requested from the Inspector General of Police another police squadron that will be based in Oyo town." Speaking further, Makinde reiterated his yearn for the state policing as a way to guarantee security across the country. In his remark, Chairman Amotekun Corps General Kunle Togun retired, avowed that the Oyo Amotekun Corps will, in performance of their duty, be a peace setter and symbol for other states to follow. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the dichotomy right there, because of course the IPOB movement have their own ways of doing things, but then of course the Yoruba people have their own ways of doing things. That is not to say a better or worse, but that is just to say a difference. Vive la différence, like they say in France, forever the difference. But of course all these things do work in tandem, because a lot of the outpouring of empathy that is going towards the IPOB movement and the Igbo marginalization is what underpins then, is what paved the way that facilitated for then the formation of this now Amotekun Corporation. So this Amotekun Corporation is that our first step now to that restructuring that the whole of Nigeria has been clamoring for, but the Malamis have been holding firm. So this is effectively what you're saying, the setting up of a security structure for Yoruba land. So if Yoruba land gets its security structure, that is one restructuring right there. And then if they get then powers over whatever is vested within the borders, the boundaries of our Yoruba land, that is another restructuring right there. And then the power to form their own laws is already vested within the state. So if they can pull that together to have a uniform sort of form, a uniform sort of law rather, that is another restructuring right there. And if they can pull resources then together to say forget the Niger Delta oil because it doesn't even fall within our borders, let's pull our resources and build our own region. So that is restructuring right there. So the restructuring of Nigeria is taking place, and it's been taken out of the hands of Buhari, because already these people, they have the power of arrest, they have the power to bear arms, and those are the two things really that a security outfit needs. So of course now they will then be pushing them to step down all these Fulani headsmen that are marauding all over the southwestern region. And the first step, of course, is to disarm anybody that is carrying unauthorized arms. So this is a coded thing towards the Fulani. Of course, I'm sure you picked up on that, because now they used to walk around with cutlasses and stick. Now they walk around with AK-47. So an Amotekun patrol vehicle that spots them with that sort of armory is well within rights and duty bound to disarm them on the spot and hand them over to the nearest federal policing. So this is now the way back against the weight, not way as in W-A-Y, but way as in weight. So this is the way back against the Fulani structure. So the IPOB movement are coming at them from one angle, from the Nzobu angle, and the Yoruba race, they are coming at them from the Amotekun perspective. So it's a pincer movement. I'll cover them on all flanks and see how we can weigh them down, because we are outgunned, have no doubts about that. Go down to any street in anywhere in the southwestern part, and the policeman is a northerner, the police chief is a northerner, the army barracks are filled with northerners, and we all saw what happened at Lekki toll gate when they sent out armed northern military troop to go and address peaceful protesters. Conversations in the comment section. Amotekun is here to stay, is what Sheyi Makinde is saying. What says you? Come share thoughts. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button, so on screen. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me in the comment section. Come tell me what you are making of this now maneuvering that is coming out of Yoruba land. So I'll leave it here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here, I say, peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So finally, we're rounding it off with we're going to a chap called Frederick Leonard, a well-known name in the Nigerian scene, a well-known Nollywood actor. But then there's a twist, there's a mark on the colorings, on the beautiful colorings of this fella. He's a 44-year-old bachelor. So now oxymoron, a contradiction, a cause for alarm within the Nigerian setting, that a man would reach the age of 44, especially a good-looking and a successful man, would reach the age of 44 without yet taking a bride. But Mr. Leonard has an explanation, and all of that is detailed in this final video, so enjoy. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, we take a break from our regular diet of politics to go into life and deal with real life situations. Guys, I bring you this. Actor Frederick Leonard explains why he's still single at 44. So this is a real life situation, as I said, and this is a lot more commonplace than you would think. A man at 44 who is successful, just from his drawing from the movies, because I have seen this guy in movies before. I won't say I'm especially familiar with him or I am a great fan of his or anything, but certainly a familiar name. As again, the headline, actor Frederick Leonard explains why he's still single at 44. So now let's now see what explanation he gives. Frederick Leonard has opened up on why he's yet to be married at 44. Speaking in a recent interview with a newspaper, the actor stressed the need for couples to take their time and be more realistic in order to avoid broken homes. So we pause there for a moment. So this is a successful man aged 44 saying that people should take their time to avoid broken homes. So how much more time is he looking to take is really the question I am sure that his family are asking him, or what level of success is he really still looking to achieve, because he's one of the premier leagues of Nigerian entertainment industry, especially in acting. So he's a successful actor and he's certainly of age at 44. So taking his time is not something that should still be recommended to him. Certainly not something I would recommend, because he has taken enough time now for him to have made a decision. And to avoid a broken home is the second half of that. Well, the risk is always there. No matter how much time you take, the moment you start living with somebody as husband and wife, that is really when that journey begins, and then you get to know each other better than you've ever known each other before. So the chances of you not having a broken home is not enhanced by knowing somebody outside of your home for a period of time, but you have to live together as husband and wife and then put it to prayer. That is really how it works, because there are no guarantees, but it looks as though this guy is looking for guarantees. We carry on. He said, "I have not lost hope in marriage. It is just the time we live in. I believe in marriage, and even the Bible says it is not good for a man to be alone. I do not want to end up alone. I do not want to end up miserable. I want to be with someone who I have a lot of things in common with, someone I am compatible with. I believe in the institution of marriage, and I think that people should be more realistic with themselves when it comes to picking a partner. So the last paragraph, there's nothing to disagree with in that. So it says he wants somebody that he has something that has a lot of things in common with. That always helps. Somebody at least that you mesh mentally and you have the same broad views. That is not to say you agree on most things, because there has to be an element of friction and argument in a marriage just to keep it spicy. But then of course you know where the boundaries are and you mesh together, so you cannot disagree with that. He says he wants somebody that is compatible with. There's nothing to disagree with in that. He says he believes in the institution of marriage. So now that is important, because when they get to that age, the pressure becomes that much that they try to pretend as though they are not really for marriage and they're just living the life of a man about town. There are a lot of them. There's one artist like that also, I forget his name now, that a lot of people, I see, is it Don Jazzy or something? He's around about the same age, but he's saying that the people shouldn't ask him. He's about 40, 41, 42, that people shouldn't ask him, that he's a single man and he's enjoying life. You are enjoying life as a single man at 40, 41, 42, 43. I don't know what enjoyment you are having, because of course the people that you would enjoy with, they're your peers, they're your age mates, and a lot of them already have their children in university. So I don't know, maybe he has children already and he's just chosen that life of Letario. But then of course that is not the lifestyle that we engage in our culture. So there's no disagreeing with that. It says, and I think people should be realistic with themselves when it comes to picking a partner. So from that last paragraph, all of the things that he has said are things that should have ensured that he was already married a long time ago. So perhaps this is a new realization that is coming to now, this newfound belief in the institution of marriage and what it takes to find a partner, etc. So now let's just go into the comment section, see how people are responding to this. A chap called Sean John is the first respondent. At 44, which other life again? Or you want to go and marry a lady in her 20s that will end up cheating on you when you are 50 and your DICK cannot satisfy her? Or you will marry a woman in her 40s that has a DICK experience of 20 years, my brother, you just need to admit you made a wrong decision in life. Stop justifying it. This is midlife crisis you are experiencing. Just go and settle before you clock 50. I don't know how many happy forever after you are looking for at above 44. Damn, what's the average Nigerian life expectancy anyway? 60. So this guy, of course, is going in deep, but there's a lot of sense in what he's saying, and really there's a lot to pick. He's saying that the choices, because you see, this is the thing, a lot of people put a lot of pressure on women when they get to their mid-20s, and certainly by the time you hit like the age of 30, the whole community is gathered around you beating drums of go and marry, go and marry. But those go and marry advice and drum beats should also go in the direction of men, because they say go and marry to these women when they hit their 20s and then they head towards their early 30s, and they get a lot of pressure to marry because they don't want to be left on the shelf, as they say. But it's not just women that are left on the shelves. This is really the point that this guy is making. It is not just women that are left on the shelves, because when you hit that age of 40, 44, thereabout, then your choices are limited, as this guy says. It's either you go and look for a very young bride that will bear you children, because of course you are still looking to procreate, and then of course if you are looking within that age bracket you want guarantees, so you probably go for somebody in their mid-20s. So if you are at the age of 44 going to marry a girl in her mid-20s, then there's a lot of pressure there. So when that girl is still in her full prime, you will already be in your doting ages. So you'll be already in your 60s. So let's say, for instance, this guy now at age 44 goes and marries a 25-year-old girl. In 20 years time, that 25-year-old girl will be a 45-year-old woman, but this chap now will be a 64-year-old man. So a 45-year-old woman that is well maintained is still a babe about town, and she still has all of the needs that women of that age would have. But a 64-year-old man that has gone through all of the rigors of life, from education to, especially within the Nigerian climate, to fighting to get his own, to gather together the things that life should be accompanied by: the wealth, the lands, the houses, the etc., the good and bad experiences. So all that experiences, all those experiences would have weighed you down already by the age of 64, but at the age of 45, of course, this woman is still full of energies. So this is the point that this guy is making. And by the way, the conversation between a 44-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman is at crossed purposes. It has to be, because the 25-year-old woman, I'm just saying now as a general norm, I'm not saying it applies to all of them, but in generality, a 25-year-old woman is still looking at the social scene, is still looking at the fashion scene, is still just coming out of university, and is still with that crowd, wanting to do the things that people of that age want to do. But a 45 or a 45-year-old man, he has other priorities. He's either completing his house or his second house. He's taking responsibility for this and that, and his mother or whatnot, and they are looking at him in his village to come and take a senior role, and his stage in life is getting more stately rather than young and pumping and virile and about town. So it's different priorities. The guy is looking towards his latter years and thinking what provisions he has made to facilitate for that, because of course at 44 is just a skip and a jump to 54, and then 54 to 64 is just really one step and you're there. So he's already making those calculations, but then of course a girl of 25 is still in the beginnings of life. So if this guy now goes and takes a girl in her 30s, that girl in her 30s would have gone through the ringer, because of course since the age of 25 she's been under pressure to marry, and she would have passed through at least a few guys to arrive at this guy's doorstep. So she comes with a lot of those baggages, and then of course if she doesn't already have children, then there's the question as to why, and then all of that all the mess that comes with all of that when you start marrying a woman in a early to mid 30s, from 34, 35, 37. So that's that catchment area. And then of course when you are marrying a woman in her 40s, then of course the baggages gets even bigger, because there's a lot more of life experiences to pack into that. So all of that is what this guy is unpacking, this Sean John, with that comment that he made. So let's just take a couple more comments and then we'll round it off. The End is the name of the next commentator. The End is the handle of this guy. Better to take your time than divorce later. Don't rush. Take your time, man. You will find someone. So that is bad advice, obviously. So take your time. How much more time is it taking? Because of course, if we look at the trajectory of life within the Nigerian space, because this guy, I don't know his background, but let's work on the assumption that it comes from an average middle class background. So it comes from an average middle class background. His parents have done the necessary spends to educate him, and he has come out of school age 23, 24 with whatever degree he came out of school with. So he's gone through that phase. He's met babes at uni, because you see, in most instances, most people actually find their life partners in universities, in a lot of instances. And if you did find your life partner at university, then let me know in the comment section. But in most instances, a lot of people find their life partners at universities. So it's either university, your place of work, or in a place of religion, or you were introduced. So those are the general 4 routes for people finding a partner. So this guy comes out of uni age 24. Let's go with that. And then from the age of 24 to the age of 34, he has done whatever it is that a man should do. Let's say it's taking him 2 years to find a job. So at 26, he has that job, and then he has worked that job for 2-3 years. Let's say he even did his master's in between. Let's just give him all the roundings up to 27. In all of that build up, of course, he have been meeting women, and the mother would have been dropping hints that, look, I want to see my grandchildren and all whatnot. You know what Nigerian mothers are like. So you'd have gone through that phase. So from the age of 24 to the age of 34, he should have established some sort of footing in life, enough to have gotten to the position where he feels that he's ready to take a partner. So that is pushing it up to that age of 34. So now that journey from that age of 34 to the age of 40 is a very difficult journey, because of course, as I said, and as you know, a lot of his peers would have married. They'd have married at the age of 26, 27, 28 maybe. So a lot of his contemporaries and a lot of his friends would have been married in their mid to late 20s, and they would have, of course, started having children, which is the usual norm within the Nigerian space. So already by the age of 31 thereabout, there would be little children out there sufficiently grown up enough to be calling him uncle, uncle, uncle. So they are already calling him uncle at the age of 31. And then, of course, as he gets into that 34 age, which is the benchmark that we established, a lot more of his peers, if not most of his peers, would have been married, certainly. So now that's a journey from 34 that we said to the age of 40. It is very rare that you still have that, maybe one friend or two, but certainly from that age of 34 to that age of 40, virtually everybody he knows is married, settled with children, etc. They may be having difficulties in their marriages. Some would have even been married twice or whatever, but certainly they would have gone through that journey of life. So that is 34 to 40. And then when you hit that 40, of course, so it is usually 18, 21. A lot of people avoid 30, as we said, and then 40 is a real landmark age, because then you have a big party, and when you invite a lot of people, and you're forced even to have that party anyway, because a lot of people, when you turn 39, they'll be drumming the beats that, look, you are turning 40, oh, we will celebrate, oh, this and that, oh, you know. So you're almost forced to acknowledge that age, because it's a marquee age. So 40, 50, 60, every decade then from 40 onwards, it's that they are marquee ages in life, because they are landmark ages in life, because a lot of people don't actually make that journey to those stages in life. So a lot of acknowledgements of that. So when you hit that 40 now, and you are having that party to celebrate, and you are unmarried, you don't have your partner, and children spread all around you, then the party is almost like a torture chamber, because everybody that comes to celebrate with you, they have one thing and one thing only to say. I'm talking about your friends, I'm talking about your family, I'm talking about your acquaintances, I'm talking about your associates, whatever. The only thing they want to say to you that you are grown up enough now, you can try and get married, though, you are ready now, or do you want me to find a wife for you? You know how they do it in Nigeria. So that 40th birthday, he would need a holiday after that, because it will be a traumatic experience for him. So a lot of that. And this guy is a good looking guy. I'm just saying aesthetically, no homo or anything, but he's certainly a good looking man. He's certainly successful. So really the reasons why he's not then able to be married is a real mystery, but it is really not that much of a mystery if you really think about it. So this is a guy that is stuck in a funk. He's now in a routinious sort of life. He gets up, goes to work, comes back home, is already set his home up in whichever form he has set it up. Maybe he has somebody that runs to the market and does the cooking and then stocks up his fridge. So he gets back home, just kicks back, watches a bit of telly, goes out drinking with his friends, and then he comes back home again. So he's gotten into that routine of a single life to the point that it's almost a difficulty now for somebody to come into his life and live with him. Because, I mean, imagine somebody that's had a single life up to the age of 44, then having to share that life with another person in close quarters. So he's stuck in a funk is effectively the situation that he finds himself in. Because when he was turning 36, 37, he would have had that nagging thought that I must find a person and must find a person. But then, of course, the people that are around him now are people that he's familiar with. So the single ones are no longer there. A lot of them are already married, and the crowd that he gravitates with, as I said, they are already people married with children. So his friends are married, the people he works with are married, even the actors that he acts with, they are married. And then, of course, so he's stuck in that loop and he can't break free of it. So this is now the situation now, but it is not peculiar to this guy. If you are thinking it is, then it is not. It is nothing that is peculiar to this guy. These are situations that we are discussing on this video on this channel today. This situation is actually a lot more commonplace than you would imagine. Conversations in the comment section: single at 44 and the guy believes in marriage. This is the position that this guy finds himself in. What says you? Come share thoughts. But before you come share those thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me in the comment section. Come tell me what you're making of this guy's example. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace. Hope you enjoyed that. So those are the 5 curated videos for this week. Again, apologies that this video is coming out a lot later than it usually does. That is for reasons beyond my control, i.e. I was being a bit lazy, but still you have it on the day, even though a lot later than it should come. So what are you making of the selection for this week is really my question. A mixed bag, as I said, a potpourri. So come tell me now what you've made of the news in the week. Is there a particular video that particularly tickles your fancy or particularly triggers you in any manner? Or is there a video or a topic that you feel should have been covered, but it's not? All of that conversation usually takes place in the comment section where we engage on this channel. So come meet me there. But before you come join me in the comment section to engage, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me in the comment section. Come tell me what you have made of the week that was in the week in the news. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.